everybody. This is Nicole.
And this is Lenee, and this is live from 1985, the podcast, and we are back. I know y'all didn't think we was coming back, but guess what? We are back, baby.
And we did it.
Yes, we did. Nicole has a brand new.
And I'm going to talk just real quick about it. Had a home birth and went great. I'm not going to get deep into it. Just for verification purpose. No more baby. I still got a little bit of the baby fat. We working on that. But yes, she's out. She's beautiful. 8 pounds, 7 ounces. Yeah. But
That's
anyway.
A watermelon.
Yeah.
Well, that is what's up. I'm so happy to be back. We're going to get right back into the conversations we used to have, but better, because we're older now and we've matured. So today, on today's episode, pretty much we're going to be talking about friends and making friends and how difficult it is to make friends. As an adult, I would say over 30, I think it makes it a little bit harder. But we're going to talk about that. I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people lately, my friends, family, and mostly women. And we're all feeling the same way. Like, why is it so hard to make friends? How do you make friends? Where do you go to make friends? Is it okay to have expectations for friends? When you get older, you start to put criteria on friends that you want, And I feel like that also, might impair you making friends faster. So we're going to get into some conversation about that and just talk about the difficulties in
making
two adults.
Friends. Oh, yeah.
Finding similarities and everything like that. So what do you think, like, as far as making friends? Because I know we're both in our 30s. We're both, you're 37, I'm 36. I'll be 37 soon. How has it been for you trying to make friends in your 30s?
Shitty. It's been really, really shitty. And, a little background, my parents were in the military. So we traveled as a kid. I was a military brat. We traveled a lot. So I didn't get that experience of growing up in one town and having friends. You go to elementary school and you meet those kids and you know them all the way through high school. I went to 2 different elementary schools, I went to 2 different elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and then 1 high school. I did get, I went to 1 high school, which is the high school we went to.
Yay!
But so over my childhood years, I do have a few friends that I've kept. I have 2 friends, you and another friend that I have that I've kept in contact since childhood. And my other friend, even with her and I, it's been, we and even before we hooked back up, we kind of just talked sparingly, maybe once a year or something like that. And with her, it's the same thing, maybe once a year, every once in a while, because she lives in another state. But anyways, now that I'm in my 30s and I've kind of finally settled into, my marriage and, wanting that female companionship again, it's like, what the hell? I'm gonna be real with you. I've gotten on social medias, I've used apps, and it's just like, you said one thing, you put an expectation on a friendship. And I think that's my first big issue, and probably some other women's big issues, because it's almost like it's like a relationship. You have this idea of what it's going to be. You have an idea of what the person is going to be like. And then you meet them and you're like, this ain't gonna work.
No, it totally is like that.
Yeah, it's just having that expectation of what you want them to be like and what you want the friendship to be like. I think that's the first issue. And then just life, that person, I'm married, I have kids, they might be married and have kids or not, or, their job or whatever it is. It's all these other different life situations that allows for impediments of spending time together.
Yes.
So it's crappy. It's really
Well, let me
crappy.
ask you, as a married person, do you expect your friends to be married? Or do you, I don't want to say expect, do you prefer your friends to be married? Like, would you hang out with single friends?
No, I prefer my I would prefer my friends to be married only
See?
because,
Aha.
well, only because, but I do have single friends.
Hmm.
I would prefer them to be married only because um of the things we would have to do in common, because I don't go to clubs and I don't do that stuff. Now, if I'm okay, like if I meet a single girl and she's okay with doing what, the things that I like, then we can do that.
Hmm.
But I also have to make it clear, if we hang out and you're out like on the prowl, I'm not going to be your wing woman,
Yeah.
because and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not a position I want to be in.
As a married woman.
Yeah, as a married woman, because then you
No, yeah, I
kind
get
of,
it.
yeah, if she's out there acting single and this guy's noticing that, they might think that I'm in that position too. And I just,
Yeah.
so
And
yeah.
guys usually, if you're out like that, guys usually run together, girls run together. So it's like, if I'm hollering at her, well, my friend over here, so I'm with you on that. But I feel like that's already expectation started,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that friendship I feel like will be one-sided, because that girl can do everything you want to do, but if she needs someone to go out with, then it's like, then the friendship becomes unbalanced, because it's like, girl, I hang with you all the time doing all this married shit. What happens when I want to go meet somebody? Like, where are you at?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it makes it that much harder. So in my what's going on with me is that I just moved to a new city. So
Hmm.
I've been living here for about a year, and I have a lot of friends. I'm kind of the opposite of you. So when I was growing up, I lived in the same house my whole life. My mom still lives in that house. I went to
Hmm.
one elementary, one middle school, one high school. I know people from elementary school. Now, I don't hang out with any of them. Most of my real hardcore friends, I think honestly, you and one other girl is like my childhood friends that I'm still in touch with today.
Hmm.
Outside of that, all of my friends either came from high school, college, or just actually when I moved to Corpus, because I'm from San Antonio. I moved to Corpus when I was about 24. So I made some friends there, and those have become
Hmm.
my lifelong friends. But if it wasn't one of those three, high school, college, or just my grown life, moving around and meeting different people, then I'm not really in contact with people that I was like childhood friends with.
Yeah.
So it has been really tough moving to a different city, being a person who has had lifelong friends and like a good group of them. I have made no friends here.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is
Yeah.
that a knock on me? Is that a knock on them? So, I'm trying to figure that out, because I am a friendly person and I am someone who's pretty welcoming. I would kind of say I like friends that are a little clingy. I like to hang out with my friends a lot. And I'm not really with the club and all that either. I'm more like to do like outdoorsy things or working out or
Yeah. Yeah.
brunch, dinner. You could come over and we could drink some wine. We can do. So those are the type of friends that I like. But I haven't met anyone. And I'm really open to the type of friends that I have. I'm kind of with you. I'm married. So I'm not trying to go out to the club all the time. I will go, but it's not really my scene. I'd more rather go like maybe a bar where we could sit down, or they have some type of activity going on like trivia, or,
Yeah.
R&B night or hookah, something like that. It has to be, if we're just going to stand up and walk around so men can see us, I'm good on that. But if there's an
Hmm.
activity going on, I'm there, because I'm married, but I don't have any kids, so my time is more flexible for me to be able to do things or stay out later. So I could do it, but it depends on the situation and the person, because some women will try to get you out there like, girl, you could do this, or you could talk to this.
Yeah.
Some
Talk
friends
you
are
into some
like that.
stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't care about your marriage, or they might not respect it. And I'm not
Yeah.
really looking for those type of friends. If anything, I would like business minded friends that maybe like animals, because I do have a dog. It doesn't matter to me if they have kids or not. I've always been a kid-friendly person. So even
Mhm.
when I would have house parties or be hanging out, if you want to bring your kids, I'm with it. As long as they ain't badass kids. I cannot do badass kids. I will beat some kids' ass. So that's the only thing, if your kids are disrespectful and just out of hand, because I also feel like that says something about you.
Yeah,
So
and that's another issue. That's when so having kids, you have to see if your kids are compatible.
yeah.
Because I'm the same way. If my kids are bad at home with
Hmm.
us, but
Yeah.
out in public or with other people, they're calm and cool and respectful. But if your kids are bad everywhere and they come over my house, I'm okay with kids like being kids.
Right.
But if you say stop, I never tell other parents, kids to stop until we get real close. But if you tell your kids to stop and they're not listening to you, it's like,
Yeah, that's a problem.
yeah,
And my just thing is just home training. Like I expect kids to be kids. I know kids are not gonna sit the fuck down all the time, but they should have some type of respect,
yeah.
So as long as they have that, then I'm okay. But so what are some things that you try to do to make friends? I know you said you use apps. Like what apps have you tried?
I've tried. So let me tell you how long I've been looking for like friendship. Back in the day. This is gonna be embarrassing. Back in the day, I used Craigslist. Like whereas they had
You're trying to get kidnapped?
no, because they had back in the day they had that section that was like um it had like it was a friends section on there. So
Wow, okay.
so I used that. And then I forgot what year it was, they got rid of all of them because it was a lot of bad stuff happening because other people were using it for other stuff. So
Yeah.
anyways, and I had actually found a friend on there. And we're actually still friends to this day. Um, but then so I used Bumble. There's an app called Bumble, and you can look for just for friends. And it's similar, unfortunately, it's similar to like Tinder. You're swiping, which I don't like. I don't like the
Yeah.
swipe
I
stuff,
don't like the swipe either.
Yeah.
It's
And
like I'm literally choosing a friend off of looks.
off of looks. And
That's crazy.
and they have the little synopsis thing, like who you are, but it feels, I don't, I'm gonna be honest, I won't read it until I see like and it makes me feel crappy because I'm like, no, no, no. But I'm like, I should be reading.
Yes.
But
But it's not set up for that, honestly. It's
no,
not.
it's not. And it's so, but anyways, I've used Bumble and I've used there's another app called Peanut, and that's for it's more geared towards like mothers, women either trying to conceive, trying to have children, or who have children. And that's really it. I don't think there's any other apps out there that I've used, just Bumble and Peanut. And Bumble worked pretty good. I've met actually quite a few women on Bumble, but it wasn't really compatible. I would meet them and we'd always meet in public places for coffee, Starbucks, something like that. And it was either their lifestyle that didn't match or like you said, the things that we wanted to do. So I didn't really want to do like clubs all the time and all this stuff. And they wanted to do that type of stuff. And I noticed more often than most women on Bumble, from my own experience, I won't say, that's what every woman on Bumble's trying to do, but they're the women trying to find somebody to go kick it with at the club and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go to the club. So,
Mm-hmm.
but here's the crazy thing. I was talking with a friend because she's in the same position, of trying to find friends, and she's like, outside of apps, what can you do? And we were talking about like sometimes she wants to just walk up to women in the store and be like, hey, how you doing? But it seems so creepy-ish, to walk up to a woman and be like, hey, you look like somebody I can be friends with. Can we be
It's like Bumble in real life. You're like swiping people like not her, not her, not her.
it's crazy. But the crazy thing is, it shouldn't be that bad. I shouldn't feel not fearful, but kind of like, yeah, like the fear of rejection to walk up to a random woman and be like, and not just, hey, you want to be friends, but hey, like I've walked up to a woman and said, hey, I like your shoes, or I like your hair, or whatever, and then spark up a conversation. But you get these looks like, hi, like, damn, bitch, I'm just saying what's up. Like, I'm not trying to, say anything mean, but it's difficult to just walk up to a random woman and just say hello.
I
It's like,
agree.
it's immediate, I don't even know, it's immediate like defense, from other women. And that's what I'm really questioning, why do we, because I wonder if I do that too. If
See,
I
I don't do that. I'm pretty
mm,
friendly, and I've had people talk to me randomly, but a friendship has never started from it. Like one time I was in Goodwill and I was looking at clothes, and there was a girl behind me that was looking at blazers. And she was like, yeah, I'm kind of from up north. We have this look that we like with a blazer with like tights, or like a blazer with like shorts. So she was looking at these blazers and was like, what do you think about this one? What do you think
mm,
about this one? And I was like, I think that's cute. She even picked out a blazer for me. She's like,
mm.
I think this one's cute for you. It's not my size, but maybe it'll fit you. And I was like, that is cute. Put it in my basket, everything. But it stopped right there. My mind didn't think to be like, hey, you like clothes, I like clothes, we're both at Goodwill. You could tell we both like to come here and shop. Let's exchange numbers. But part of it, and this is another little thing, she wasn't Black. So
Oh,
now that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, do you care what race your friends are? Do you prefer for them to be Black, or do you not care?
you know what? That's a good question. And I get the same thing. It is more often women, I have, excuse me, I have Caucasian women that are more open to talk to me and spark up a conversation than our own women. I would prefer our own women only because of the commonalities. I've had uh, friends outside my race before. Actually, one of my closest friends a while back, she threw my baby, she did my baby shower and everything. She was Caucasian, and I don't have an issue with it. I would prefer, I prefer it, women of color. But at this point, look, me and my husband were talking. Me and my husband were talking. We were outside, and there's this young lady who walks in front of our house. We're assuming she walks because there's Dollar General that's like not even 200 yards from our house, or not 200 meters from our house. Um, and so a lot of people walk to the store from our neighborhood, and she walks by every day, and she's always like waving and stuff. And usually I don't wave. My husband was like, what, wave at her. So one day I waved at her, and so every day now we kind of wave. And I'm like, at this point, I'm always like, I want to be like, hey, why don't you come over and have a conversation? And she's, Caucasian. And but yeah, the same thing. And when I go to stores and stuff, I have their women all the time come up to me, compliment me on what I'm wearing, because we wear different stuff. They always,
Mhm.
oh, your family looks beautiful, what you're wearing. And so at this point, I might be willing to, go back to having more because that's what's open to me. That's the people who are open to me talking to them, and openly talking to me. And the same thing in, because there's a place up here called Savers, and it's just a thrift store. It's like Goodwill. And they're always saying stuff to me because I wear my jackets that I make, and they're, oh, that's a cool jacket. And our women like even like turn their nose up. I have a few of our women that may smile or give a small compliment, but it's literally like, oh, I like your jacket. And it's like, that's all you're gonna get. I don't
And
want
she's
to,
like,
yeah, like we're not gonna have any other conversation. I don't even want to thank you. Just, oh, I like your jacket. Gone. So, but yeah, I'm open to it. Would you be open to it to have?
I would. So I have one of my closest friends is not Black, but she's not white. I have it's like white women. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever really had a white woman friend.
Hmm.
My friend that's non-Black is Mexican. And me and her get along great. And I've had Mexican friends, throughout my life, have no problem with that. It's just white women that I just haven't been able to connect with. And I'm gonna be honest, and I'm trying to think like, are there any? And I'm like, I don't think so. I've had them as acquaintances and co-workers. and we get along at work. We might talk at work, but outside of that, it just hasn't happened. Now, I'm not saying I've been avoiding it, but it just hasn't happened naturally. And my thing when it comes to friends, I don't want to press anything. I don't want to make someone feel like I'm making them be my friend. I really want it to be organic. We have general interests, and we like each other because of our interests, you know, or that we can feed something into each other's lives, and not necessarily, you know, I don't do the negativity. I don't like to be talking shit about people. I'm not a hater, you know, so that's my main thing. And I can't deal with friends like that. I can't deal with friends that are abrasive or, you know, want to come at you or always have a problem. That's my main thing. If you don't have that, I'm cool with you. But maybe I haven't had the exposure. I don't know. But I will say here recently, I've been working out. So I've been signing up for yoga classes. It's on Eventbrite and they're free. So I'll show up. The first one I went to, it was on Memorial Day. So I guess they had a smaller crowd because it was a holiday weekend. So it was just me and the 2 trainers. So when I got there, they hadn't opened up. It was at a brewery. Brewery. However you say that word. The place they make beer at. So it was at one of those. So I show up. It's just them 2 sitting outside because the person that's supposed to unlock it for them hasn't showed up yet. So we're all sitting out there talking, silence. Like they ask me questions like one at a time. And these are both, you know. So we're sitting out there and they're like, so what made you join this? And I was like, oh, I just been wanting to work out. I haven't worked out in a long time. I'm ready to get back into it. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, you know, and like I told these chicks my name like 3 times. Now, their names are Bridget and Darcy. I know that because I paid attention when they were talking to me and I remembered their names. When I tell you this girl asked me my name like 4 times, she's like, what's your name again? What's your name again? Your name is like, she couldn't even think of the first letter of it. And I was just like,
you're the only one there.
I was the only one there. It was them and me. And I'm just like, okay, so this ain't it. You know what I mean? So I gave it another chance. I went to another one. Now, this one was hosted by a different woman, right? But this time, still all white women. Even a couple of white men came to this one. It was outside on this little lawn at another brewery.
Brewery?
Brewery. I'm like, where am I from? What the heck? So anyways, I went to that one. And afterwards, so they have them at the brewery because afterwards they give you like a ticket so you can get a drink, or like they'll either take money off your drink, or the first one I went to, actually it wasn't free. It was $10, but the $10 goes to your drink. So, but after I worked out, there's no way I could have drank. I took my drink to go. They had like, you know, like a beer can, but it was like a ale or something. I took that shit to go. But long story short, at the second one, same thing. It was more ladies this time. It was probably like maybe 15 of us. And afterwards, you know, you can go mingle and stuff. But I just wasn't feeling it. Like no one was making eye contact with me. I was the only Black girl there. The only Black person there because there weren't even Black men there either. And I just felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb, you know, and I just felt like the connection just wasn't going to be made. I will say this, after that, I tried this workout thing called Camp Gladiator. This was all white women too. They actually were more interactive, but she was a lesbian. And I know that sounds weird, but I feel like, okay, so this is my thing. I feel like people of the LGBTQ, even if they're white, they have more of a guard down because they feel like they're a minority in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't have that stick up the ass that some white women, and I'm saying some because not all. I never want to speak like I'm speaking about every single person, you know, in this category, but some of them are kind of standoffish, but they weren't, but they were lesbians. You know what I mean? So I felt like they had more of a compatibility with someone who's a minority because they feel as though they are also a minority, if that makes sense. And they were a lot nicer, a lot more open, a lot more cool. Now, they didn't have the same hobbies as me. That's the only thing I could probably say. They like to drink a lot, go out a lot, and they play hockey, you know, so I'm
white girl wasted.
Right. But I, you know, I'm not really into sports at all. So, but they knew my name. They talked to me, you know, every time I showed up because I went 3 days that week. It was like they were encouraging me. Like I really felt like, okay, they're not my tribe, but they were, it gave me a little bit step closer to like, okay, at least someone has been friendly, because I haven't even been able to find that. And I was thinking maybe it's just because of where I'm at, because I moved from San Antonio, Texas, super friendly, never had a problem making friends there, to Charlotte, North Carolina, and just the people here are different.
Yeah.
What's your region like as far as the people? Is it the people in your region that makes it harder?
I definitely think it's a regional thing. I think that the more north you go, I live in Southern Illinois. So I always tell people the best way to kind of get a reference is I'm about 20 minutes from St. Louis, Missouri. Um, it's definitely a regional thing. Texas is full, the South period, nice. People are much nicer, more open. Everybody is much more, they have the Southern hospitality. Up here, it is much more standoffish. Like I remember when I first moved up here for college, I had my dad took me to a church and I met this young lady and she was like, don't stare at people. And I was like, don't stare at people. She was like, yeah, because they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you looking at? And I'm like, what? Like, she was like, it's impolite. And I was not, of course it's impolite to just stare, but you kind of just looking around, looking at people.
Right.
They don't do that. Like, no, they want to make sure there's no eye contact. Yeah, it was definitely a different type of dynamic.
So you walk in like, hey,
Yeah.
hey. Like you can't look at anyone?
Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic. It's not up here, it's definitely there are some, because this area is kind of considered the South, depending on if you go into more of the rural areas or urban area. Yeah, the rural areas, it's a little bit more hospitable.
Mhm.
But the more you get into
City.
the city area,
Mhm.
it's more standoffish and yeah, it's just really difficult to just even say hi to people. And there was a time a while back when I would go to these and I forgot about that. I would use the Meetup app to go to these like little functions. And there was a function that I was going to, and it was called I forgot what it was called. It was something for our women. And when you're telling your story, it reminded me of this. It was something for our women. This one, her name was Gabrielle. I'll never forget her name. And she would have these functions for our women to just talk. It was for that, to connect with our women. And it was cool. It was nice. But you know what happened? People who already had friends went. So you had these women who went, these twosies and threesies. And I wasn't expecting that. I went a couple times by myself, and people are already clicked up. And so you would go and they would have like these activities, or they would have this big group talk or discussion. It was real cool during the group talk and discussion. Everybody's talking, and whatever the activity was, we would do that. But afterwards or beforehand, when it was time to mingle, everybody would break off into their little groups. And I'd be standing there like,
I came here to meet friends, and y'all are
yeah. And it wasn't ever, people would be nice. They would talk to me, and say hey, or maybe spark up a conversation. But like you said, it wasn't like, hey, let's exchange numbers and let's link up after this. It was just like, hey, where you from? Blah, 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 where you live. All right, and then it was like, that's it. And it's just I think that's a regional thing too, because a few things that I went when I was living in Texas, it was different. It's much more, hey girl, yeah, give me your number. Let's exchange numbers. As a matter of fact, the short time, and I have to explain this, I lived in Texas, but me and my husband took a trip in our RV. We traveled, around, not all the United States. We just did some traveling. We ended up staying in Texas for about maybe 10 months when I got my massage license. But anyway, I still have people from Texas during that short period of time that still text me and contact me to this day. You know, we're not close friends or anything like that, but they were more willing to like be friends
Mm-hmm.
than up here. It's like I cannot, and I will say this, they were Hispanic too. It wasn't any of our women, but still, you know,
Yeah.
it's much more friendly down there. It's much more friendly in the South. Up the further north you get, it's like, ew, I don't want to, you know, and you know, women are out there looking for it.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. I'll be somewhere like in the store, I'm like, I know y'all bitches looking for friends, but they don't want to, you know, they at least they have that, like you said, kind of that wall, you know, or that protection. I don't know. It's like they just are unapproachable.
I just feel like a lot of people here have their friends that they've known forever, and that's just that. They're not looking for new friends. They don't want new friends. They don't trust people easily. And so I feel like that might be part of it. But I know, like, I live in Charlotte. This is one of the cities that people are coming to from
Yeah,
everywhere. So I would think, are you
it's a
guys bringing
tourist
your only
city.
friendships here? So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where are y'all finding friends at? You know, but I just recently got on Meetup too, and I'm about to start exploring that. And I would love to do an episode later after I've been to a couple of these, so I can like bring it back up and we can talk about my experience going to it, because I haven't
Hmm.
been to anything like that so far. Honestly, I've just been hanging out with family, which is my
Hmm.
husband's family. You know that, you know, I'm part of that family too, but outside of that, I have not made a single friend. And
How
I'm
long
just
you been
like,
there?
I've been here for over a year. So I moved here
Mm.
February of 2021. So it's June of 2022 and nothing.
Girl, I've been here since 2003. So
Lord.
graduated high school, you know, graduated in '03, came up here, went to college. Um, and again, let me say this, there have been, because of jobs, because of my jobs, being in the military, I've met people, but none of them lasted, you know,
Hmm.
no, and a lot of times when I was working for the state, I met quite a few women that it was some really nice friendships. But one thing you said, a lot of those women talked about other people and talked about
Hmm.
other women. And at first, I would be a part of that. I'm not gonna lie, I was part of that culture, you know. And then my husband told me, he was like, if they're talking about the other women
They're talking about
behind their
you.
backs, yeah, you don't
Yep.
think they're talking about you behind your back? And I was like, damn, I think, and this is like this. So we were in like kind of like a little clique, and in the clique, they would talk about each other in the
Hmm.
clique.
Hmm.
And I'm like, damn, I know if they're talking about, oh girl, if Jane is talking about Julie behind her back, I know for damn sure they're talking about me behind. And
Hell yeah, they are.
I just slowly started. And I remember, so this is what really sealed the deal. One time we went to the Cheesecake Factory. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. Every time we would go out to a restaurant, two of the girls always sent their food back, always had a complaint. I don't mean every once in a while. Every single time we went out, two of them, it was about five of us, two of them always had a complaint. It's not hot enough. It's not cold. There's a hair that it was something. Take this back.
Yeah.
It's not. And I'm like, y'all are mess. First of all, I don't like doing that because you don't know
No.
what they're doing in
Yes.
the
That's what I'm
back.
thinking. I'm like, send it back, honey.
Yeah. I never send stuff back. If it comes out wrong, I'm like, well, we're just gonna deal with this. I don't send stuff back. Or if I've ever sent something back, I'm very respectful, you know, or it has to be something really wrong,
Right.
because this is people handling your food that you're gonna put in your body.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, and then the other part of it was when we all met up, the entire time was spent talking about other people at work, people, you know, complaints. And I'm like, I can't do this. I
Yeah.
cannot sit
You're not
around.
getting anything out of it.
No,
Like you
no.
leave feeling depleted. Like, okay, I just spent 2 hours talking shit.
Talking shit about people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it gets
yeah,
tiring. Like, what else can we talk about? That's
yeah.
why I love my friendship with you so much, because we can literally talk about anything.
Anything.
And I need that in my friendships.
Yeah.
We can't only talk about one thing, because it's
Yeah.
like, all right, so you just put yourself in my associate box, like I
Yeah.
need multifaceted, because I like so many things. I can't just sit around talking about people. Like, what
Yeah.
else? And I like reality TV and all that. We can go into that. Let's talk about people we don't know, but let's also talk about nature. Let's talk about, consciousness. Let's talk about
Real world
anything.
problems. Yeah.
Yes,
Anything.
anything. Like,
Anything.
who are you as a person?
Yeah.
So I feel like it shows you a lot about who someone is if all they can do is talk about other people. Like,
Yeah.
sweetie, what's going on up here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's crazy. And it's saddening. And like you said, and it makes me wonder though, is that what a lot of women are going through? Is
I
that
think
they
so.
are, yeah. I wonder if there are women who, I don't want to say they're shallow, but all they, because on the app, on the Bumble app, you'll see a lot of no drama, no drama, no drama, no drama. So I'm wondering if, women, when they do link up and they end up just talking about other women, because there was a short period of time I had met a couple young women off Bumble. And this was when I was going out a little bit more. And I met other women through the women. So this area is real small. There's different cities surrounding, like I live in a city called Fairview Heights, and there's other little smaller cities surrounding. This is called the Metro East. And it's actually really like our community is really small. So I would meet a couple women, and then I would meet, because I'm the type of person, if I have friends and we all link up, I'm gonna be like, hey, get their number, talk, I'm never like, this is my friend, you can't have,
yeah.
And I remember,
same.
Yeah, I remember I remember meeting this girl on Bumble. We linked up. She had a party, and she didn't say don't exchange numbers, but it was kind of, I could tell she was like, these are my friends. So the funny thing was, she said something along the lines of like, don't, because one of her friends there, we clicked like hard, like she was cool as it, like we really clicked, but we didn't exchange numbers because we felt like it would be disrespectful to this girl.
Oh my goodness.
So the thing was, we ended up matching on Bumble. So it was like, this doesn't count because we're not. We're meeting each other organically through the app. So
right.
Her and I ended up hanging out, and the friend found out, she was cool with it, and so we all kind of hung out, but it was this sort of inner, and here's the other thing that gets a little deeper, like jealousies,
yeah.
like I'm hanging out with her, but didn't invite her. And, or this, it's like these other little, I've always wanted, like you said, a tribe. And I see this all the time, looking for my tribe, looking for my tribe.
Yeah.
But are you really? Because there's so many women that I've met that get jealous of, it's like, sis, are you serious? Like,
yeah. Sis, be serious.
So that's another thing. I just distance myself from all that too, because I'm like, that was, and then, I'm not gonna, I don't know if that might be a little too deep, because it's other stuff that is anyway.
No, but jealousy is a real thing. Some people are jealous, like, that's my friend, you're taking time away from me. Some women might look at you and see something in you and just be jealous of that. Like, I felt like in the past, women have been, I don't know if it's intimidation or jealousy, but just that I'm a happy person, period. And it's nothing that I'm even doing. I'm not the most beautiful. I don't have the best body, but it's just like the inside of me is joyous, and you can't not see that. But
it's genuine too.
It's very genuine.
You have genuine joy. Yeah,
absolutely. But I've seen some people like, that bitch just happy all the time. I can make you happy too. Like, I live to make other people happy. I live to make other people feel good, because it makes me feel good. That's who I am in the core of me. But some people don't want that. They don't like that. They want that friend that's just like, I hate everybody. Let's talk shit about everybody.
Misery loves company.
Misery does love company. And you got to be careful who you bring into your life, So it's so much that goes into making friends that I didn't even think about. I just knew I was going to make friends here, because I'm the type of person, if you become my friend, it's either like you're an acquaintance or you're my family now.
Mhm.
There's no in between with me. Usually when I click up with a person, we're like this. And I just have not been able to find that. But I'm
Yeah.
okay with it. I don't want to rush it. I really want it to be organic, and I want to meet someone who is really cool and has that same genuine joy. But it's just like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I honestly think you're not doing anything wrong. I think because I thought that, and for me, again, it was for the years that I've been here. I started thinking, damn, yeah, 2003. I've been here for a long ass time. Um, Going on 20 years next year. Shit, god
Dang,
damn.
we've been out
Anyway,
of high school for 20 years.
yeah,
Girl,
20 years,
my
20
goodness.
years. I'm still tripping off. This is the longest place I've been ever. Being in the military and moving so much.
Yeah, true.
It's weird for me to be, but anyway, um, I don't think it's you. I think it's I think it's I don't know. I think some of it, I think it is, I won't say it's you. I think it is the fact that we have parameters and ideas of what we want the friendship to be like, and other women have different ideas and parameters too. Like I said, it's just like a relationship. Like women, like, I want a man to be this, and I want a man to be that, and I'm looking for this. We have the same thing with our friendship. Like you said, you want them to be more into, nature, and nothing more than just the club and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, but here's my point I'm trying to get to is I don't think that should put a halt on it. Like, I meet women and I think to myself, just because we have differences in our views of, as long as you're a kind person and you're not out there, doing real messed up stuff, I think we can still be friends and do the things that we have in common together. And then, if there's things that we don't, then we don't. But it's like, if you don't have all of these little things, then we can't be friends at all. And that's
No.
what I don't, that's the part that
Yeah.
I don't like, and being, here's the crazy thing. I've been ghosted by girls. Like,
Girl, me too. Like,
that's,
we're supposed to hang out, and then it's just like, hello.
that blows my, I almost didn't bring that up, but I'm gonna be real. Being ghosted by, I'm just like, you can't just be real and tell me what the issue is. And this is the part that really, like, pisses me off. Like, we'll be texting, and the texting is good, conversation is good, all this, and then when you get closer to, like, hanging out, nothing, done. Just, I'd be like, hey, just checking in, everything okay? And it's like nothing. And I'd be thinking, what the actual, like,
Yeah,
what
like,
the
why would you
hell?
stand me up? We're trying to start a friendship. But that lets you know right there. It's like, kind of like, all right, well, that one bit the dust.
Yeah. But
So,
it's just crazy to me, because I always will at least try to say, hey, I've got this going on. Because I get life happens. Maybe you're busy, maybe your, husband or your family or whatever. But I always try to say something, or even if it's not, I'll say, you know what, I'm more interested in these things, and I think you have more interest in those things. So we can still communicate through text and stuff, but maybe, you have things that I'm not interested in, that, like, one girl, she was going out to the club all the time. And I'm like, I'm not really interested in going into the club a lot, but we can still, text and talk. And, like,
yeah.
that's cool. If that's what it is, say it.
I think some people also don't know what they want, especially people who
Hmm.
have friends already. I don't think they're really like thinking as hard about it as us. And I think that's
Mm.
why they might be a little bit more like, damned if I do, damned if I don't. I really don't give a damn, because I have a group, so this is just a
Yeah.
new one and might not even work out anyway. Whereas we are like, I'm genuinely looking to start a friendship with someone, and I'm willing to give this into the friendship, and I want to get this from the friendship. We have, I hate to say it, but like expectations. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like at our age, like you having kids and stuff like that, and us being married, you kind of have to, because you don't want to let someone into your life who's going to try to get with your husband, or,
Yeah,
act weird around your kids, or, have a
that's
crazy
true.
drug habit. Like, you got to
That's
vet
true.
these people, because people can come into your life and cause havoc. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's
So
true.
you
That's a
do
very
got to
good
be
point.
careful. You do got to have, I don't want to say expectations, I'd say preferences,
Yeah.
and you got to have those general commonalities that will push the friendship forward. Because if
Yeah.
not, then you will end up with those friends where y'all just talking shit about people all day.
Yeah.
Because there is no expectation. It's just like, all right, well, we both know these people. Let's talk shit about them.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's kind of wrap this up. I will say, this has been a pretty good conversation.
Yeah.
I would say let's drop some tips that we think could help people find friends, or even us.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do to try to make friends? So that way, when we do a follow-up episode, we can talk about, like, okay, I have done this, this, and this, and these are my results.
So I'm at the point where I definitely want to get over my fear of just randomly, because a lot of times the only place you're really going, not, I don't want to say the only place, but usually friendships start in the workplace.
Yeah.
And I don't work. Well, I mean, I don't like work in a company or a business setting.
Yeah.
So I told myself I'm gonna start getting over my fear and really just going up to women more often and sparking up a conversation. And like you said, I've gone up to some women and sparked up a conversation, but it ends there. And I'm gonna, my, I guess, um goal I'm gonna give myself is to ask for their number. It sounds weird because it's like almost like a dating.
Right. You don't want them
But
to think like they're gonna walk away like that girl's a lesbian.
yeah, so but that's usually why I'm always usually with my husband. And I was like, I'm married, I got kids, so it's like but I want to start saying, hey, why don't we exchange numbers? Maybe we can talk more about hair tips or whatever, it is that because I usually always try to do a compliment. I like the shoes, I like the outfit, I like the hair, or whatever. Why don't we exchange numbers? We could talk more about it. I need to come up with a line that sounds so crazy. um but the best tip, and it's the tip that you gave um in our last episode, or in one of the other episodes, when finding a, a possible boyfriend or a relationship, is be more available.
Yes.
I'm not out there. I'm not, you know I don't put myself out there enough, I think. So I think I'm gonna start trying to go to more, like, get back on Meetup, which I have been, but I haven't seen any, after COVID, stuff just died down so much.
Yes. But you know what? Maybe you should be a meetup organizer.
You know what? I did that.
How'd
That's a
that
long
go?
story. I did that. I had people join. The problem was when I and I had a friend who had the same issue. When I actually set up the meetups, nobody would show up.
Oh, so they would sign up, but they wouldn't
They would
come.
sign up. I had engagement, hey, I'm interested. But when I would say, hey, this is the place we're gonna go, this is what we're gonna be doing, and I would like, let me know. And I even had people like, I'll be there, I'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Because
So
on Meetup, I do see it says at the bottom, like 11 people are going, this many people are going. So those people sometimes don't show up.
they don't show up. So
got it.
And it costs to be an organizer. So I'm like, I'm not fit. Yeah, it's not expensive. I think it's like $12 a month or something like that. They may have changed it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not going to keep paying for this, and then people don't show up, or they say they're going to show up and then don't show up. And I thought about, because this was a couple years ago, I thought about doing it again and making it, because at the time I did it for I forgot what it was called. I think it was called melanated. It was called melanated apothecary. A melanated apothecary. Because is that the word? Anyway, I wanted.
What does it mean? What does that word mean?
So it's somebody who deals with herbs as medicine.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to have a group.
But do you think other people know what that means?
If they didn't, I hope that they looked it up.
Okay. I'd be like, I ain't joining that girl. Don't know what the hell that is, unless maybe they like Tupac. I'm not even really sure.
I wanted it to be for our women because it's not a lot of our women who get into herbs and
Right.
using them as medicine and stuff like that. And I wanted a specific niche, and I wanted people to know this isn't about, you know, going to the club and all of that stuff. I wanted it to be more for people who were into nature and sustainable living and stuff like that. And I had women who joined, you know, and seemed interested. And but again, it just it was nobody showed up. So I'm thinking about doing it again, um, making it specific again, and then just really putting because I did it for like 2 or 3 months, and then people didn't show up. I was like, ah, fuck this, I'm not doing this no
Aw.
more. So, but yeah, my biggest, I guess, tip would to be again, like you said, make yourself available. Um, get rid of the fear, you know, if it's a no, it's a no, or if you get the dirty look, you get the dirty look, but just
Yeah.
taking that risk and saying, hey, why don't we exchange numbers and, you know, continue talking about whatever it is we were talking about. And then also I have to be more open with my parameters, you know, more maybe single women, more races. I'm not sure about the Caucasian aspect, but maybe some some other races. And maybe some Caucasian. Like I said, that lady who keeps walking up and down the street, I might say something to her. But yeah, that's just being more open. What about you?
Okay.
Any tips to give?
So, me personally, this isn't a tip. This is just something I'm going to try out. I'm going to go to one of the meetups. I haven't been to one yet. I joined. I haven't even clicked like I'm going to this. The one event that I thought about going, it was like a wind down Wednesday, but you bring your dog. And so
Mm,
I guess women sit around with their dogs and they drink wine and they talk. I wanted to go to that, but it happened the same day I was about to leave to go out of town. So I
mm,
couldn't go. I had to come home that day and pack and, make sure all my stuff was together before I went out of town. So I didn't get a chance to go. So I want to go to something like that. I haven't been on Bumble or anything like that. So I might try to get on there, see what that's like. I don't like the swipe thing though, because I'm like,
yeah,
that person also has to choose me. So
yeah.
you got to think I'm cute. I got to think you're cute, basically. My nephew said he meets people on Twitter. And I'm like,
Huh.
I don't know, but he's in his 20s still. And I'm like,
Um,
how? I'm not even on Twitter. Twitter's probably the only
yeah,
social media I don't use.
yeah, I don't have it
But you know
either.
what? A while ago, I did make a friend on Instagram, and she would support all my little shit. Like during the pandemic, I was hosting virtual events.
Mhm.
So I would do like a bingo night or a trivia night, whatever, a book club. She would come to my events and she would support. If I cost money, she would pay for it. When I started doing shirts, she bought one. She
Hmm.
was super cool, but she lived in Dallas. And at this time, I lived in San Antonio. And we had even talked about meeting up. And like I was like, girl, I have a house. You can stay with me. Come down here. Let's meet up. She had a boyfriend at the time. I was like, you can bring him too. I have a husband. We can all chill. We all smoked. We were all cool. She was actually a chef that infused food with weed. And so I was
Oh
like,
wow.
you can make us some shit, like
Yeah.
we had planned all that. It just never panned out. And then I ended up moving, but
Mm,
that's one thing I can say. I did make that one friend out of the years I've been on Instagram, but she was super supportive. And I'm like, if I could just duplicate you, because if we lived in the same city, I promise you we would be like this. Because the
yeah.
conversations we would have were just like, she was so genuine, so supportive. She was just cool. We're still friends on Instagram, and like every once in a while she'll make a comment on my story. Same with her. Like we'll comment on each other's stuff. We don't talk as much anymore, but
Mm,
I really want to put my efforts into finding a friend because I'm kind of like you. I'll see people or see something that I can compliment on another woman, like, oh, I love her shirt or this and that. But if I do give the compliment, there's nothing that comes after that. There's no
yeah.
connection that I'm, making with them. And I don't know if it is on my part, but sometimes I feel like it's on their part too, because it's kind of like
Yeah.
what you said. It's kind of like, thanks, girl, and I'm out, So
Yeah.
I want to try to bridge the gap, but hopefully I could do this through like the meetups and stuff like that. I would love to do it kind of in a social setting, only because I can vet you a little bit. I can kind of
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
like how are you acting, like what's there, and you vet me too. Like I want it to be organic. I want you to see what
Organic.
I'm
Yeah.
offering, what you're offering. Maybe we can meet in the middle. But I really would like to make an organic friend, especially since I'm out here.
Yeah.
And even when I was talking to the men in my husband's family and I was telling them like I haven't really met any friends, they're like, yeah, because people aren't like you. So be careful. You might want to stick with family. And I've been told several times from different people like, be careful who you talk to, and don't be like this, don't be like that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be me. I feel like I have a good judge of character. If someone's not right for me, of course I'm gonna, but I can't change who I am to fit the circumstance that I'm in. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stop being joyous and happy and myself. I'm not gullible. I understand when someone's out to get me or when it feels weird, but at the same time, I'm not looking at everyone like out to get me. Like I
Yeah.
want to be open and like, let me see what you're about. And if you are out to get me, you're gonna show yourself. And
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. I'm gonna see that, but
Yeah.
that's kind of my plan is just to join some more groups, get out there. I am kind of shy, and it's kind of weird to hear that because I'm like a introverted extrovert.
Extrovert. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very much talkative and friendly and out there. But if I know you and if
Yeah.
I'm comfortable, before I'm really like knowing you, I'm very kind of shy, like more like standoffish. Let me kind of peep the scene. But once I know you, oh, you can't shut me up.
Yeah. So you know what? And this may be a good conversation for our next, but I want to know where that stems from for because my husband says the same thing. Be careful of who you talk to. Be careful of what you
Yeah.
say. Be careful of these people.
And it's
And I
only
want to,
men that have been telling me that.
yeah. And I know even with our last conversation or with one of our podcasts with my parents on there, and we talked a little bit about what the issue is and how come women, like you said, your neighbors, they kind of look at you like, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
where did this come from? Where everybody is, especially our women, are so standoffish. Like, where is it coming? What is it stemming from for you to be so mean? For our women to
Maybe
not,
past trauma. I don't know. I'm like, has somebody hurt you? Have you had a friend that really just did you wrong? Because I have. I've had friends that did
mm,
me wrong, but I'm forgiving,
yeah,
and I'm pushing past it. And I'm not going to take this experience and put it on every friend experience that I have. I haven't
mm,
changed the way in which I am towards people because someone did me wrong, but I feel like some people have. Maybe it's
yeah,
happened repeatedly. Maybe someone's tried to steal your man. Maybe someone tried to, bring havoc into your life. I don't know. But that would be something I can't just be going up to these women like, hey, who hurt you? Like, but I would like to know that also. Like, but I
yeah,
think for me, maybe it's just where I'm at because I know a lot of people out here from New York and,
mm,
upstate. And so I'm just thinking maybe that's the mentality of the people.
yeah,
I don't know
that's
because
true
I'm
too.
from Texas. So I don't know what to even, think about people on this side of the country because I've never been over here.
Yeah.
So this is my first time.
Oh man, and it's crazy how much of a cultural difference it is
Yeah, it
between
is. And
different
I
areas of the
thought,
country.
oh, there's more Black people here. I'm gonna have a bunch of friends, but it's the opposite. It's like there's more Black people here and they're way more standoffish. It's not like,
Yeah.
and I couldn't wait to get here because I'm like, I've never lived around this many Black people. But
Mm.
it's I'm not making friends with any of them. But I am gonna try, and maybe I need to make friends that are, from somewhere else. I don't know. Like when I moved to Corpus, all except for maybe one of the friends I made are not from Corpus. They were
Mm.
all from someone else. New
Somewhere
Orleans,
else.
New York, South Carolina, Mississippi, California. They were all except for one. I have one friend that was actually from Corpus, but maybe that's going to be the same out here. I don't know. Maybe it's just Charlotte people have a mentality and I got to make friends from somewhere else.
And that's I've noticed that too. When the few people that I've seen that seem to be more open to like randomly making friends, they're from somewhere else. I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed it is a little bit easier to find people that are open, that have moved around, like a lot of military people or even people who
Mm-hmm.
just travel a lot. But like you said, I've met people who, well, I'm not from here. So they seem more open to try to make friends than the people that are from here.
Right. Because I guess they're in the same boat with me. Like, I just got here, I'm trying. And the people who are from here are like, oh, I got my friends from whenever and I'm good,
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
I don't know, but we are going to follow up on this conversation in the future and see if we have got to the point where we can make a friend. And then we can talk about, our process and how that went.
Okay. One other thing. I hate to put you on the spot. Are we going to work on our, I don't know how to put this, like our diet plan or workout plan, or
absolutely.
We want to talk about.
Yes, I've been on my shit. Not my eating though. My eating has been like, but my working out, yes.
On it? Okay, good. Absolutely. I want us to start checking in with that. My eating has been crappy too, but I've been riding my bike more. That's my, my preferred method of working out. And I want us, if we can, next time to talk about some goals that we want to reach.
Okay.
Because I want us to be accountable, and everybody out there to help us be accountable. Because when you on here, people are like, yeah, that bitch said she was gonna do this, and she really doing that. It helps you become more accountable. So
it does. It does. Because people will be in your ass.
Yes, they'll be out there judging. So
okay, so that's the plan. We're gonna start. Maybe we can make it like a segment where we have like a follow up on how we are in our fitness and health journey.
I love that. Cool.
Okay. So to wrap this up, guys, we are two women out here with no damn friends. But we are going to make strides to try to get out of our own way, get out the box, and make some genuine friendships, and we'll keep you in the loop along the way to let you know like how we're doing with this. Maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll come back and be like, I still ain't got no damn friends. Or maybe be like, I got one friend. Or maybe we'll be like, I got a friend group now, You don't know.
Looking for that tribe. And if anybody has suggestions, please
let us know.
Yes, feel free, because I am all open for any type of suggestions or opinions or anything that you can give that will help.
And you know what? I have so many friends that are going through this right now. We need to have an episode where we bring them on.
Oh my goodness.
All talk about this, because it's not just us. And I have people who have been living in the same place their whole life. I have a friend who's a principal. She's going through the same thing. My sister's going through the same thing, but we're all in our 30s, professional women with no friends.
No friends.
Or trying to make new friends and just can't, like my sister's a realtor. And she's like, I would love to have some realtor friends, or like just anyone that I can hang out with. And it's just like nothing. Yeah. So we're going to get more into that. Maybe we'll have some guests on that can, maybe they have more ideas, or maybe, we can get into some of those stories as to why this is happening, So we're going to get back to y'all with that. But thank you so much for watching. We are back. We are back, baby. So don't forget about us. Season 2 of Live from 1985, the podcast. And we are signing out.
Back on track.
Bye. Have a good one.